Here we have the brand new Mercedes A35 AMG, and essentially this is Mercedes' answer to the Volkswagen Golf R. So it's a posh, hot hatchback which you can live with every day and feel suitably proud of. Now in this video, I'm going to see how it lives up to that by seeing what it's like to drive. Whoa, it really does go. I'm going to test out its performance, 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds according to Mercedes, but I'm going to see for myself. I'm also going to take a look around the cabin, see what's changed over the normal A-Class. Actually doesn't look all that super to me. And of course, find out what's good about it and what's not so good about it. Okay, let's start this review by talking about the design. So there's been some styling upgrades over the normal A-Class. The most noticeable is the AMG grille. You've also got a front splitter as well, and some air vents here which do actually do something. Look, I'll prove it with the carwow stick of truth. They lead over there, look, ooh, and help channel air over the wheels for reduced drag. You also get LED headlights as standard. These are actually the upgraded matrix LEDs which can kind of move their beam about so you don't dazzle other drivers. Down the side of the car there's some side skirts. There are some more vents here at the back, but these are fake. Look, no, they are fake, they don't go anywhere. However, you do get a rear diffuser, and that does actually do something, and twin sports exhaust, and it's an upgraded exhaust over the normal car, which sounds better. Now, this particular car has the AMG styling package on it, so it includes some other stuff, such as you've got blacked out rear windows as well, and there's some upgraded 19-inch alloy wheels with black paint, and they look super cool, but most noticeable is this, the roof spoiler. Now, what do you think about that? You don't have to have it, right? You can have the car without it and it looks kind of a bit more stealth. I actually really like it. I think it adds to the purposeful look of this car, but what do you think? Click on the pop-out button in the top right-hand corner of the screen to vote. Would you have this car with the spoiler or without the spoiler? Inside, there are some minor sporty upgrades. The most noticeable, though, is the AMG Sports steering wheel, which does feel lovely. Also, you've got actual metallic gear shifter pedals. Yeah, standard, this car gets an automatic gearbox. Also, you have some AMG specific displays, so you can show things such as what the vehicle's doing, what the engine's doing, and various other things about performance. And with the dynamic select, you have a Sport Plus mode for added sportiness as well, yay. Another thing you can do is change the dials on this car, and unlike with the normal A-Class, you get an extra one, Super Sport, which actually doesn't look all that super to me. Oh, I forgot, you also get some aluminium pedals, and if you look down there, have a look down there, look. AMG sill plates, quite like them. Other than that, it's A-Class business as usual, which means a high quality interior and an excellent infotainment system, which you can control with real world voice commands. You also get decent space in the back seat and a reasonable boot. But that's not why you're watching this video. You want to know how quick this bad boy is. Well, let me demonstrate. This car uses an upgraded version of the 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine from the A250. So it now has 306 horsepower and 400 newton meters. Now it should be able to get from 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds according to Mercedes, but I'm going to see for myself, so I'm going to time it with my figuring gear up here. Just going to put the car into a Sports Plus mode, put the traction into handling mode, make sure I'm in drive, now just floor the brake, floor the throttle, race start engaged, let's do this. That's a good gear change. And that's 60, easy peasy. Mercedes wasn't like...
There is no music data available.
And that's the thing with the whole voice activation system. If you're a journalist and you're constantly saying, Mercedes,
how can I help you?
She constantly interrupts you when you're trying to deliver to camera. So I was saying it did 0 to 60 bang on 4.7 seconds, just like Mercedes suggests.
Could you repeat your input, please?
Turn up the stereo.
What would you like to do?
He never bloody understands me. And that brings me on to 5 annoying things about the A35. These chunky sports seats do eat into the rear passenger space a bit more than the normal seats. Also, the huge headrest means that it blocks your view of the road ahead. Plus, if you've got young, annoying children, they may end up jabbing you in the back of the neck through this hole. These upgraded 19-inch alloy wheels may look super cool, but the way the rim and the spokes sit proud to the tyre means you're soon going to curb the heck out of them. The sporty steering wheel is pretty cool. The only problem is that it blocks some of the information from the screen, and you've paid extra for the screen, and some of that detail on there you're going to want to see, which means you actually have to kind of look round it when you're driving, which isn't exactly ideal. The full fat proper AMG cars have the gear selector down here, whereas this one has it on the steering column, just like a normal A-Class. And if you're used to AMG cars, you're going to end up like, tucking this, trying to get into gear for about half an hour. Well, that's what I did, and yeah, maybe that's because I'm stupid. The starting list price of this car is £36,000, which is quite expensive. And then once you've added some options, yeah, it soon mounts up. For instance, this car here, its list price with options is over £44,000, and for that you can get a terrace house in Hull, though that does mean you have to live in Hull. That's why it's really worthwhile going on to carwow, because you can save an average of almost £3,000 off a new A35. So if you want to go to carwow and check out the price, just click up there on the pop-out button in the top right corner of the screen, follow the link below the video, or just Google carwow and see the best price that you can get on this car or any new car. However, it's not all bad. There's plenty of cool mechanical upgrades over the normal A-Class to help make up for all this. The steering has been upgraded over the normal A-Class, and it has its own sportier ratio, plus it's solid bonded to the body to make it a little bit sharper. A solid plate is bolted onto the bottom of the engine to keep the suspension mounts more stiffly mounted. The car suspension has been completely overhauled, so you get uprated springs, dampers, anti-roll bars. Also, the front wishbones don't have bushings, they're solid mounted to the body, while the subframe at the back, same again, no bushings, solid mounted to the body. So it just makes it stiffer and more aggressive. You get bigger brake discs, and they're clamped by monoblock 4-piston calipers. Actually, these are the same calipers you get on the older A45 AMG. The car has a predictive all-wheel drive system, so normally when you're just driving along, it's in front-wheel drive mode to help save fuel. But then, depending on your steering angle, your throttle input, your speed and the road conditions, it can predict when the front wheels are going to start to lose traction, and before they even do, it can send up to 50% of the power to the back. However, do all these upgrades have a big impact on the way the A35 feels to drive? The first thing to talk about is the suspension, because it's all stiffer, but has that made it an uncomfortable car to live with every day? Well, thankfully, no. Yes, you do feel the bumps more than in the normal A-Class, but it's not too bad at all, not too bad. And as you go faster, it seems to iron them out better. And if it really does bother you, the stiffer suspension, you can get an adaptive setup with a softer mode if you want that. Perhaps the only problem with this car compared to the normal A-Class is that you seem to just get more noise from the tyres, which can be a bit of a drag when you're like cruising on the motorway. Sometimes the engine isn't the most responsive. Let's just say you're cruising along in comfort mode and you want to suddenly just zip through a gap in traffic, you floor it, there's this pause, there's like this kind of like hole where the turbo hasn't spooled up and the gearbox hasn't properly chosen the gear, that you're just left floundering for a split second. But when you are in the right gear and it's ready to go, this thing really can shift. So yeah, put it into manual mode, and then you can control the 7-speed gearbox yourself, and then it is noticeably more lively. You get a sharper throttle response, you get quicker changes from the gearbox, a bit more weight to the steering, and the exhaust becomes more noisy. Now, it's not the noisiest exhaust. When you floor it, it does still sound a little bit like a washing machine, but Mercedes have engineered in some sound, so when you change up a gear, they do this thing with the fueling, which makes a barp sound. A barp. Listen. There you go. It's quite subtle. And then when you change down, it goes ba 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 ba. But really, you have to have this engine spinning over 3,000 RPM to get the maximum performance out of it. Something like a Volkswagen Golf R pulls hard from lower down, which in some ways is good, but that doesn't encourage you to chase the red line as much as the way this engine is set up does. So you really do just want to wring this car's neck a little bit. Whoa, and it really does go. Out here on a twisty road, this is quite a capable machine. It really does grip quite well. You point the car exactly where you want it with this very direct steering. What it doesn't have though is that ability to change direction when, let's say, you're running wide and you lift off and you want to tighten your line. It doesn't really do that, it just kind of carries on. It's not the most adjustable hot hatch. It's not as playful as something like a Honda Civic Type R or even a Golf R. I think this is the kind of hot hatch that is better for everyday use, and when you want to, you give it a squirt, rather than the kind of car that you go out specifically for a drive for at the weekend.
So then, what's my final verdict?
Well, first of all, I have to say, I absolutely love the looks of this thing, and it's easy to live with as a daily driver, plus you can get it packed full of Mercedes' latest technology. And if you do that, it is the most high-tech hot hatch you can currently buy. Now, there are other hot hatches that are a little bit more fun to drive, but this thing, it has pace, it has poise, and it has presence. The only real problem is that it comes at quite a price.
Do you agree with my verdict? Let me know in the comments section. Also, please subscribe to this channel for more videos, and if you click on the deals box to the right, you can see how much you can save on a new car at CarWow. Or click on the video windows below to watch another of my videos.